more than glorifying the body. A poster in the library tempted me there, a club for fans of Victorian wear. Poster said, "Do you like Victorian clothes? Are you a fan of the Victorian times? Well, come dressed in your finest regalia. Location St. Julian Thaddeus Church. Time very late, when the owls are drowsy and the moon is old." Well, there in a desolate church far from town, I found folk in silk cravats and fine gowns, their voices light as if touched by pure air, and their eyes lit by souls that could murder prayer. Each told me their name and asked me to stay. Then I knew their graves were empty as day. I knew they had left their graves. I knew that's where they had come from. More than clothes, they said, we love tattooed skin. 'Tis art, we collect art. Skin peels off easy like labels off a tin. In Samoa, Polynesia, etc. We mean the Victorians, a century or so ago, stamped out tattooing. Missionaries said no to glorifying the body, and the tribes have forgotten and lost their ancestor skill today. Great shame. A toast, good health to you. They took my hand. I felt the dark, deepest suming dark, dark from the ashes of pine branches and roots. A beautiful girl, full of sadness, took me from the crowd, took me to the tower and said, "There's pain in my heart like needles," and unlaced her whalebone basque. A man's name she had carved on her heart. The leaves from the karaka tree could not soothe or heal the surface or the deep cut. "I know about your secret," she whispered, and lay on the bed. "You know of the floating world," she said, her nails tracing hidden patterns under my sleeve. Old Japanese ukiyo-e images. "Here, take this dagger," she said. No diamond blade, palm tree, or rat's tooth have I. So take this dagger and write his name on the sole of my feet, so I can tread on him forever. I could not do that. I used my biro. Back downstairs, the crowd, curious, floated around me like armillary spheres, moving, rich circles circling. I had been a diver for fish and shells, protected from sharks, camouflaged. My body painted the colour and patterns of waves and the rippling, moving sea. The patterns and colours of sharks, and I move the same. I keep my coat on. I try to hide my little Arctic ivory ornaments, but they see in my young eyes a landscape of ice and frozen waters of the Bering Sea, and an ancient brave seafaring tribe from thousands of years ago, lured to this windswept outpost by vast herds of ivory-bearing walruses. They see a young man from far away and long ago. My tattoos, protective shields, amulets and remedies, and a sacrifice to the spirits that made our fierce cold land. They see me standing strong and fearless in the icy wasteland. You see it. You see where I am. Tattoos on my skin mark events. See this? The first whale I caught, and this, something else. You can see a lot, and my body and life carved on that land. Good against evil, lamb black the night or Shango dark, I cannot tell. Dark azurite darkness surrounds me. I feel a hand on my shoulder where I had markings inscribed, a matchstick man from sacred ink, a Chukotka way to get the soul of a man I had murdered. Oh, and they are speaking again. Another toast to you, they say. Come, let us take your coat, your shirt, your skin. They know what I am. They block the door. I hear the beautiful girl whisper, life to him, strength to him, health to him. She had seen my other tattoos. Yes, thousands of years old, and I'd inspired the pharaohs. I walk out calmly with my secret, deep and dark as the sleep of a pure soul. The end. So this is a poem I wrote. Here I am typing away like a good teddy bear. Now, what inspired me to write this poem was an actual event. No, it was... I didn't end up in a club full of the undead. No, I was in the library and I saw a poster for a club for people who liked Victorian costumes, and it said, turn up, dressed up, and we can all enjoy, this Victorian interest. And it was held in a church. That was the interesting thing. That's I imagined the people at the club, and I imagined they were real Victorians, not modern day people pretending. And there was a reason it was held in the church, because the people were the undead. They had left their graves and they needed new blood. They were kind of like vampires. But you know how vampires have to go out hunting? You have to fly around and find their victims. Well, this lot were clever. These Victorian vampires, they lure people to this club. So they invent this club and advertise. And because they know dressing up is very popular, so they just wait for people to come. So in my poem, this man appears, but he's not what they had expected, because he's one of them. He's like them, but he's from an ancient time. He's an ancient version of them. And they soon realise what he is. And he's kind of scary. But he does find this young girl and he kind of falls for her. And she sort of protects him. Anyway, these vampires, Victorian vampires, they try to, they want to get him. To destroy him, I suppose, or make him join. But he's much too astute, and it's not easy to catch. So I just thought it'd be interesting to create a visitor to this club, and he's one of those. And I do like the Victorian era. I do love the costumes. That's what I like. It's the elaborate costumes, and I like the idea of them being still alive, or some of them coming back to life. I think history is fascinating. So, and that's what inspired me, a poster in a library. Inspiration is all around. You just have to be tuned in, or it just has to catch you. You don't have to be proactive. Because the thing with inspiration is, I think sometimes people say a muse visits them. A lot of artists and creators and writers, they say they have a muse who comes to them. In a way, I guess they're right, because ideas come from nowhere. You could just be not thinking of anything, and an idea just appears. That's what I like. I think it's a subconscious. The human mind is really fascinating. So while I'm tapping away, I think I'll end there. So now you know where I got the idea from for the poem, More Than Glorifying the Body. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. Okay, have a lovely day. Bye-bye. Ta-ra. See you.